Hey everybody, Graham McInnes here with McInnes Realty Group, eXp Realty, and this is my mid-month market update, March 16th, 2022. In today's video, I actually want to talk about the market statistics, where are we at, but answer a couple questions that some people had for me recently. So let's just dive right into it. So overall, the market is looking really good still. As you can see from the statistics here, if you're looking Feb 21 over Feb 22 for the detached housing market, let's just take a quick peek. So listings are up almost 70%. New total sales, are up sales are up 72%. That's a big deal. New listings are up 82% compared to February of 2021. That is a huge increase, but check this out. The active listings are down by 12%. So when the total sales are up 70% and the active listings are down 12%, that basically means we're still in a smoking hot market. It is a seller's market in the detached market segment specifically, which I'm just going to kind of use as a benchmark here. Again, the detached market is sort of the ship that pulls all the other market segments along with it. You're never going to get a market there. The detached housing segment is hot and everything else is cold. That just doesn't really happen. If the detached market is hot, the prices are rising. What ends up happening is that usually starts first because that's the most in demand. That's what everybody wants, is their own house, not attached to any other property. And as those become more and more unaffordable as prices rise, then that pushes buyers into the other product categories that are more affordable. Semi-detached homes, half duplexes, then down to townhomes, then down to apartment-style condos. So let's answer a couple of these questions here that I had from some seller and buyer clients of mine over the last couple of weeks since my last update. So number one, is my home worth more or less than last month, last week, last year, or whatever the last time was that you checked in on your home value? The answer is unequivocally yes. Your house is worth more, and I could make a pretty good guess that it's worth a lot more than you think it is. Contact me for a free market evaluation, and I'd be glad to let you know what your house is actually worth in today's market. Things have been on a phenomenal tear the last 15, 18, 24 months now, and the Calgary market is very hot, especially detached houses. Now, the next question, what is the best deal in Calgary? If you're a buyer and you're looking to get into the market, what's the best deal? I would say hands down it's condos. Because of the fact that detached houses have gone up over the last year. I mean, look at this. The last year alone, the median price for detached has gone up 22%. The average price for detached, and this is across all of Calgary, some areas of the city have gone up more than this, some areas less, is up 22%, average price up 18%. I mean, this is just unreal numbers. This is a huge increase in the cost of real estate in Calgary. And what has not increased that much in the last 18 to 24 months is condos, but I think it's coming. I think condos time is coming. Like I said, it's like a rising tide floats all boats, right, in real estate. So as the houses get more and more expensive, it pulls up with it all the other product categories. Condos is always at the bottom, though. There's just, for whatever reason, there's just not ever as high a demand for condos, usually, as detached single-family homes. And so the condo market has not gone up in value anywhere near this much. Let's actually take a quick peek at that. Let's look at apartments. The apartment segment has gone up, let's see, 6% in the last year on average across the whole city. Some areas of the city less, some areas of the city more, and average 8%. So how much more room do condos have to go up as the market continues in this path of being a smoking hot market? I think a lot. So if you're a buyer and your budget is relatively low, maybe $250,000, $300,000, consider getting yourself a 2-bedroom condo. 2 bedrooms are always a better buy than a 1-bedroom, but if you can only afford a 1-bedroom or that's all that you want, go ahead and get a 1-bedroom. It's just when you go to resell it, typically it's a little easier to resell a 2-bedroom condo for fairly obvious reasons. So let's talk again. Let's just go back to detached here. And let's talk about the next question here. If I'm a buyer, what should I do in this market? So in other words, I'm thinking about getting into the market. Is it a good time? Should I buy? The market's really hot. Things are crazy. And, I'm a little fearful of jumping in and committing to that really big financial commitment of buying a home. Should I do it right now or should I wait? Well, my question would be, wait for what? I mean, what is really going to steer the ship in a different direction here? In other words, for the prices to go down. Typically, a real estate market is more like a cruise ship. As you probably know, cruise ships, they slow down very, very slowly over a very long period of time. It takes a long time for a cruise ship to come to a stop. Same thing with turning. It takes a long time, a very big diameter circumference for a cruise ship to make a turn. And the real estate market is no different, barring crazy events like a COVID type event. But again, even that, we recovered from that dip that the market took when COVID hit roughly around 2 years ago this time. The market took a huge dip, but it recovered really quickly as that work from home nesting thing kicked in and everybody kind of wanted to get their own space and get their own property. So nonetheless, should you buy right now? I would say yes. Reason being, I don't think we're at the apex point of the market cycle yet where we've kind of gone over the hump. Prices have gone as high as the economy and people's pocketbooks can allow them to go, and we kind of crest over the edge where we kind of hover there, or maybe there's even a little bit of a contraction, which does happen. I mean, that's what normally happens in every market. Prices go up, prices go down. My point being, if you are thinking of buying, I think you can safely do that because personally, I feel there's a lot more momentum in the market for prices to continue to rise for many more months, maybe even years, as long as the Alberta economy stays as strong as it is right now and as strong as it's forecasted to be, especially with the price of oil. I know there's been some volatility in the price of oil lately, but it is very high. Even $80, $90 oil is super good for the Alberta economy, and it's kind of raining gold in Alberta when the price of oil is that high, and that has very positive knock-on effects for the real estate market. So go ahead and buy. Interest rates are still historically super low. For you younger people, when you see that interest rates are rising and that makes you nervous, they are rising, but they're super low. This is not a normal interest rate that's available right now. Man, trust me, they can go way higher. So it's still low rates, and the prices, I feel, even for detached houses, have a lot of room to grow still. One of the main reasons being the average household income in Calgary is so much higher than everywhere else in Canada. What that basically tells us is that in other areas of Canada where the prices are higher but the average household income is lower, it just means Calgarians can afford to pay more for housing and still be okay and still continue to buy housing even though the prices are rising. And I think that is what's going to happen. So there's a lot of room left in the slack that can be picked up in the market to stretch those housing prices higher while still having people be able to afford it, at least based on average household income in Calgary. Let's talk about the negatives, right? Let's kind of dive into that. What are the negatives of a market like this? Well, one of the biggest negatives, of course, is if you're a buyer. If you're a buyer right now and you are trying to buy a property, especially a single-family detached house or any of the other hot market segments, which would be semi-detached half-duplex or townhomes, again, the caveat being what areas are you buying in of the city, what price point, and the condition of the property. That will determine basically if it's going to go into multiple offers or not, because still, even though things have pulled back a tiny little bit from the market being ludicrous insane to just taking a step down to being super hot still, there's still a pretty good chance you'll get in a multiple offer bidding war with many other buyers besides yourself trying to buy that same really nice property at the same time. So that is one of the negatives. And how do you avoid that? Well, it's very difficult, but basically the concept here is that if you're selling, if you're already in the market in Calgary and you're selling, you're either upsizing or you're downsizing. Typically what you'd want to do, talk to your realtor, make sure you get your mortgage all lined up and pre-approved before you do this, but you'd want to buy first. Talk to your favorite realtor, of course, to make sure that you get all your ducks in a row for that. It's easier said than done. I've been able to do that successfully with my clients where many times many of the last sales that I've done recently that were helping a client buy, we never actually had to bid over the listing price and we still got the property. Whereas for my listings, almost all my listings in the past 2 years have sold for over the list price. And again, this is because I know how to implement this very specific strategies in order to kind of cause that to happen. So that's kind of it, guys. I don't want to go on too long here. That's my mid-month market update for March. Still a hot market. Yes, your house is worth more today than it was yesterday and a month ago or a year ago, like way more. And certainly do reach out to me for a free complimentary home evaluation if you do want to know what your house is worth. And of course, if you know anyone that's thinking of buying or selling, we work off referrals quite a lot, and we'd love to help out your family, your friends, your colleagues, your coworkers, and help get them into the market or maybe sell their home or both. So that's it for now, guys. Thanks a lot, and we'll talk to you on April 1st.